Bgmc. The biblical truth lives here.
The ancient Hebrew scriptures foretold of the Anointed One, Yeshua HaMashiach. The Messiah Yeshua came to call the people back to the truth of His word and to follow that righteous path. Yeshua then called Jewish men to be His disciples, and after His death and resurrection, those Jewish men told the world about the Jewish Messiah. Now, after 2,000 years, Beth Goyim Messianic congregation has that same calling of those Jewish men, telling all people, both Jew and Gentile, about the proper ancient path, teaching the Route 66 King's Highway from Genesis through to Revelation, and how you need and can get back to the proper roots of the faith and a closer walk with God. Now, let's hear the message.
Let's go get a blessing. Turn to the book of Ephesians chapter 2.
Vamos en búsqueda de una bendición y abramos nuestras Biblias en el libro de Efesios capítulo 2.
This is the City Gate Messianic Bible Study Ephesians part number 8.
Este es el estudio bíblico mesiánico Portones de la Ciudad y estamos en la parte número 8.
This is, if you got the PowerPoint, we're on slide number 98. 98.
Si descargaste la diapositiva, estamos en la diapositiva número 98.
We're going to start by reading a little bit of Ephesians 2, verse 1 through 10.
Vamos a empezar por leer Efesios capítulo 2, desde versículo 1 al 10.
1 through 10.
Del 1 al 10.
Okay. Ephesians chapter 2, verses 1 through 10.
Efesios capítulo 2, versículo 1 al 10.
You used to be dead because your sins and acts of disobedience. You walked in the ways of the Elam Hazeh and obeyed the ruler of the powers of the air, who is still at work among the disobedient. Indeed, we all once lived this way. We followed the passions of our old nature and obeyed the wishes of our old nature and our own thoughts. In our natural condition, we were headed for God's wrath, just like everyone else. But God is so rich in mercy and loves us in such an intense love that even when we were dead because of our acts of disobedience, He brought us to life along with the Messiah. It is by grace that you have been delivered. That is, God raised us up with the Messiah, Yeshua, to seat us with Him in heaven, in order to exhibit in the ages to come how infinitely rich is His grace, how great is His kindness towards us who are united with Messiah Yeshua. For you have been delivered by grace through trusting, and even this is not your accomplishment, but YEHOVAH'S gift. You are not delivered by your own actions, therefore no one should boast, for we are of God's making, created in union with Messiah Yeshua for life, of good actions already prepared by God for us to do. All right, so we're going to go to our slide number 98.
Vamos a ir a la diapositiva número 98.
Slide number 98.
Diapositiva número 98.
And we're just going to back up a little bit from last week.
Vamos a retroceder solo un poquito de la semana pasada.
We're going to read verse 3 through 5 again.
Vamos a leer del versículo 3 al 5 una vez más.
Because you need to refresh as we go through this study.
Porque necesitamos refrescar la memoria para así poder seguir con este estudio.
Indeed, we all once lived this way. We followed the passions of our old nature and obeyed the wishes of our old nature and our own thoughts. In our natural condition, we were headed for God's wrath, just as everyone else. But God is so rich in mercy and loves us with such an intense love that even when we were dead because of our acts of disobedience, He brought us to life along with the Messiah. It is by grace that you have been delivered. Amen?
Amen.
Okay, so to refresh, we had an old life, now we had a new life. Now we have a new life.
Para refrescar, tuvimos una vida vieja, ahora tenemos una vida nueva.
So we had passions of the old nature
Tuvimos pasiones de la vieja naturaleza
that brought us away from Jehovah.
que nos alejó de Jehová.
Okay, so there are actions that you must leave
Hay acciones que tú debes de dejar
to be united with God.
para ser reunido con Dios.
Okay, so if you still continue in those actions that Jehovah hates,
Entonces, si tú sigues en esas acciones que Jehová odia,
you are headed for God's wrath.
tú vas de camino, tú vas en pos del el castigo de Jehová.
And in verse number 3, in verse 3,
Y en el versículo 3,
the word God there should be Jehovah the Father.
y ahí en el versículo 3, la palabra Dios debería ser Jehová el Padre.
Then to just refresh our memory, verse number 5 again,
Y para solo refrescar nuestra memoria, el versículo 5 una vez más,
that even when we were dead because of our acts of disobedience, he brought us to life. Along with the Messiah, it is by grace that you have been delivered. Okay, so we have once again in verse 5,
y tenemos una vez más aquí en el versículo 5,
acts of disobedience.
actos o hechos de
Okay.
desobediencia.
What is so very important about verse number 5,
Lo que es bien importante del versículo 5,
and we've said this a number of countless times here at Beth
y
Goyim,
lo hemos dicho un sinfín de veces aquí en Bet Goyim,
but even the Messianic body doesn't understand this line.
ni aún así el cuerpo del mesiánico no entiende esta oración.
There are acts of disobedience. Oh, who's going to get it? There we are. Okay. So there are acts of disobedience which will get you a flippy.
Entonces tus hechos de desobediencia te van a llevar al castigo.
I'm talking to you. I treat you like my own grandson. I'll give you a flippy. Okay. So there are acts of disobedience that means we're not free to do whatever we want to do.
El hecho que diga hechos o actos de desobediencia no significa de que tenemos la libertad para hacer lo que queramos.
Now remember, to refresh our memory,
Ahora recordemos para refrescar nuestra memoria.
this is a letter written to the congregation in Ephesus.
Esta es una carta enviada a la iglesia en Éfeso.
They were worshiping Diana
Ellos estaban adorando a Diana
and other pagan gods.
y otros dioses paganos.
Okay. Left those acts of disobedience.
Entonces ellos dejaron esos actos o hechos de desobediencias.
Now, how do you know what is an act of disobedience?
Ahora, ¿cómo sabes tú que es un acto de desobediencia?
And why would Paul be writing that? Why would Shaul be writing that to this congregation that's under grace?
¿Y por qué estaría Pablo escribiéndole esto a esta congregación que está bajo la gracia?
That would be that they're still under the Torah.
Esto significa de que ellos aún siguen bajo la Torá,
Because acts of disobedience are not arbitrary.
porque los actos de desobediencia no son arbitrarios.
There is good acts and bad acts.
Hay buenos actos o hechos y hay buenos o malos.
Okay? Now, grace means that the Lord had every right to destroy you.
La gracia significa de que Dios tuvo todo el derecho de destruirte.
Mercy means he gives you an opportunity to choose truth.
La misericordia significa que Él te da una oportunidad para escoger la verdad.
Okay, does everybody understand that?
¿Será que todos entienden esto?
Grace means that the Lord had every right to destroy you.
La gracia significa que Dios tenía todo el derecho de destruirte.
Mercy means he gives you an opportunity to choose his truth.
La misericordia significa de que Él te da una oportunidad de escoger su verdad.
Now we're going on to section number 3.
Ahora vamos a la sección número 3.
Okay, we're in chapter 2, section 3.
Estamos en el capítulo 2, sección número 3.
We're on now verse 6 and 7.
Y ahora estamos en el versículo 6 y 7.
Ephesians chapter 2, verse 6 and 7.
Efesios capítulo 2, versículos 6 y 7.
That is, God raised us up with the Messiah Yeshua and seated us with him in heaven, in order to exhibit in the ages to come how infinitely rich is his grace, how great is his kindness towards us who are united with the Messiah Yeshua. Amen?
Amen.
All right, now this is where most of the Christian body gets real lost.
Esta es la parte donde la mayoría del cuerpo de los cristianos, ellos se pierden por completo.
Because they don't understand the first 5 verses.
Porque ellos primeramente no entienden en los primeros 5 versículos.
They start most of their reading usually at verse 6.
Ellos comienzan la lectura o el leer a partir del versículo número 6.
And all they see is verse 7 with the word his grace.
Y todo lo que ellos ven es el versículo número 7, que es todo sobre la gracia.
Okay, so with the section number 3 here,
Con la sección número 3 aquí,
how many here thinks that Satan is going to be seated next to Messiah in heaven?
¿cuántos de ustedes aquí presentes piensan de que Satanás va a estar sentado junto con el Mesías en el cielo?
Does anybody think Satan is going to be seated next to Messiah?
¿Será que alguno de ustedes piensan que Satanás va a estar sentado junto con el Mesías?
Lev, do you think Satan's going to be seated next to Messiah in heaven? Why not? Wait, we got the microphone today. Turn it on and give it to Lev. Just like in the morning class, but you don't have to hold the mic. Well, you're not going to hear it in here, and they're going to hear you out in the world.
Well, because he's a bad person and he tells a lot of lies.
He's a bad person and he tells a lot of lies.
Él es una persona mala y habla muchas mentiras.
What makes him so bad?
¿Qué es lo que le hace a él ser tan malo?
Well, when he was with God, he coveted God's place because he was a light carrier, but he wanted to be the king of all things.
So he wanted to be the king of all things.
Entonces él quería ser el rey de todas las cosas.
He didn't want to listen to the Father.
Él no quería escuchar al Padre.
He did not obey his Father.
Él no obedeció a su Padre.
Okay? And how do you know he didn't obey his Father?
¿Y cómo sabes tú de que él no obedeció al Padre?
Did he lie?
¿Será que él mintió?
But
He was coveting.
Porque él estaba codiciando.
Okay? So nobody thinks that Satan's going to be seated next to Messiah, right?
Entonces ninguno piensa de que Satanás va a estar sentado junto al Mesías, ¿verdad?
Okay, let's read verse 6. Why am I saying that?
Entonces vamos a leer el versículo número 6. ¿Y por qué estoy yo diciendo esto?
That is, God raised up with the Messiah, raised us up with the Messiah Yeshua, and seated us with him in heaven. Okay, so let's start with the whole of the sentence.
Entonces vamos a comenzar con la plenitud del completo de este versículo.
What he's saying is we're going to be seated with Messiah in heaven.
Él dice que vamos a estar sentados con el Mesías en el cielo.
If you don't think Satan is going to be seated next to Messiah,
Si tú no piensas que Satanás va a estar sentado junto al Mesías en el cielo,
because he's a liar,
porque él es un mentiroso,
he coveted,
él codició,
he did a lot of bad things,
él hizo muchas cosas malas
and he broke God's rules.
y él quebrantó las leyes de Dios.
Why then should the church that is not following any rules be any different than Satan?
Entonces, ¿por qué la iglesia que no está siguiendo ninguna de las reglas deberían ellos sentarse junto al Mesías?
Why should the Messianic body that doesn't have long beards,
¿Por qué el cuerpo mesiánico a los hombres que no tienen sus barbas,
they don't wear tzitzit?
ellos no se ponen sus tzitzis?
I was watching, gotta change the frequency. I was watching some of the Messiah conference.
Yo estaba observando las conferencias de mesiánicas,
that's going on right now in Grantham, Pennsylvania.
que esto está sucediendo, está tomando lugar ahora mismo en Pensilvania.
And I was looking at, none of the men had beards.
Y yo estaba mirando, observando y me di cuenta que ninguno de los hombres tenían barba.
And none of the men were wearing tzitzit.
Y ninguno de los hombres tenían tzitzis.
They just looked like a bunch of pagans.
Ellos simplemente parecían como un poco de paganos.
So why should God why should God seat us next to Yeshua?
¿Por qué debería Jehová el Padre sentarnos junto con Yeshua en el cielo?
Why should he seat you next to Yeshua?
¿Por qué debería Él sentarte a ti junto al Mesías en el cielo?
Okay, that's a question that you must ask.
Esto es una pregunta que debes hacer.
Okay, we'll get back to that in a moment.
Vamos a regresar a esa pregunta en un momento.
Now let's read verse 6 again.
Ahora vamos a leer el versículo 6 una vez más.
That is, God raised us up with the Messiah Yeshua and seated us with him in heaven. Okay, now the word God there
Entonces la palabra Dios ahí
should be changed to the Father,
debería ser cambiada al Padre,
because it's saying that somebody else raised up Yeshua.
porque está diciendo que fue alguien más, otra persona quien levantó a Yeshua.
Okay, it's very important to understand that this sentence,
Es muy importante entender esta oración,
because many people think
porque muchas personas piensan
that Yeshua raised himself up from the grave.
que Yeshua se levantó a sí mismo de entre los muertos.
I can't tell you how many times I've argued with people about this.
No te puedo decir cuántas veces he yo argumentado con personas sobre este tema.
It is very clear in verse number 6
Y esto está muy claro aquí en el versículo número 6.
that somebody, sorry about the clicking, they're, anyway.
Disculpen por la transmisión que no se está escuchando bien. Acaban de prender un aparato y está haciendo una intervención en la frecuencia.
Okay. It is very clear.
Esto es bien claro.
It's frequency. They just turned on. What we have to do tonight, I'm going to stay a little later, and I'm going to fix the frequency because I'm tired of this crap with them. Okay, we have lots of frequencies we can choose, and we just have to do it. Okay, sorry about the technology, but there's only so many hours in the day. Okay, so it's clear in verse number 6
Es claramente en el versículo número 6
that somebody else raised Messiah from the dead.
que fue alguien más o otra persona que levantó a Yeshua de entre los muertos.
It is very clear in verse number 6
Y está muy claro en el versículo número 6
that somebody else is seating us with Yeshua in heaven.
que es alguien más o otra persona quien nos va a sentar a nosotros con Yeshua en el cielo.
Is everybody seeing that and how important this is?
¿Será que todos están viendo esto y lo importante que es esto?
Because once you realize that,
Porque una vez que tú te das cuenta o realizas de que de esta situación aquí,
then you will understand who you have to please to get into heaven.
entonces tú vas a saber a quién tú tienes que agradar para poder entrar al cielo.
You know, there's so many Christian churches that think that Yeshua and the Father are one person.
Hay tantas iglesias cristianas que piensan que Yeshua, el Hijo, y el Padre, Jehová, son uno.
And the reason that we're going through this study of Ephesians very slowly
Y la razón por la cual estamos estudiando esta carta a los Efesios despacio
is so that you can know how to defend the kingdom of God.
es para que tú aprendas cómo defender el reino de Jehová.
Because there are so many people that don't understand this simple verse.
Porque hay tantas personas de que no entienden ni siquiera este versículo tan sencillo.
Okay? One more time in verse 6.
Una vez más en el versículo 6.
That is, Jehovah raised us up with the Messiah Yeshua and seated us with him in heaven. Okay, it's a very important verse.
Es un versículo muy importante.
So that Jehovah raised up his son, Messiah Yeshua,
Que Jehová el Padre levantó a su hijo Yeshua
and seated Yeshua in heaven.
y sentó a Yeshua en el cielo.
But first, Yeshua was raised from the grave.
Pero antes de esto, Yeshua fue levantado de la tumba.
He came back for 40 days.
Él regresó a la tierra por 40 días.
Then after that, he returned to heaven.
Y luego, después de los 40 días, él regresó al cielo.
Okay, now in verse 6,
Ahora en el versículo número 6,
it is our turn to run our race.
ahora es nuestro tiempo de correr nuestra propia carrera.
Okay, that's a very important concept to understand.
Esto es un concepto muy importante el entenderlo.
That's what Shaul is telling us in verse 6. He's telling them and he's telling us.
Esto es lo que Pablo o Shaul le está diciendo a ellos y también a nosotros aquí en el versículo 6.
Because we're not there yet, right?
Porque aún no hemos llegado a ese punto, ¿verdad?
Okay, so you have the opportunity to run your race.
Tú tuviste la oportunidad de correr tu propia carrera.
Because you don't have your seat now.
Porque no tienes tu asiento ahora.
Okay, you're not once saved, always saved.
Tú no eres una vez salvo, siempre salvo.
Okay, you have to run your race.
Tú tienes que correr tu propia carrera.
Because if you were done, then you would already have your seat.
Porque si hubieses ya llegado a la meta y hubieses terminado tu carrera, ya hubieras tenido tu puesto.
It's not saying you have reservations.
Esto no dice aquí que tú tienes reservaciones.
Okay, you have to do what you need to do.
Tú debes de hacer lo que te toca hacer.
Then you will be seated in heaven if you finish the race properly.
Y luego vas a ser sentado en el cielo si terminas la carrera adecuadamente.
And why am I saying that?
¿Y por qué estoy diciendo esto?
Because now let's put verse 6 and 7 together.
Porque ahora vamos a combinar, a juntar el versículo 6 con el 7.
That is Jehovah raised us up with the Messiah Yeshua and seated us with him in heaven in order to exhibit in the ages to come how infinitely rich is his grace, how great is his kindness towards us who are united with the Messiah. Okay? Now, how are you united with Messiah?
Ahora, ¿cómo es que tú estás unido con el Mesías?
Now, once again,
Ahora una vez más.
who is he writing this letter to?
¿A quién es que Pablo le está escribiendo esta carta?
People that left Diana worship,
Personas que dejaron de adorar a Diana,
worship of Artemis of the Ephesians.
personas que dejaron de adorar a Artemisa de los Efesios.
Okay, so what makes you the same as those people and different than those people?
Ahora, ¿qué te hace igual, más también diferente a esas personas?
If they stop worshiping on Sunday, what makes you think that you can worship Sunday?
Si ellos dejaron de adorar el domingo, ¿qué te hace a ti pensar que tú puedes adorar el domingo?
They left pagan worship. Go ahead.
Ellos dejaron la adoración pagana.
What makes you think that you can do whatever you want?
¿Qué te hace a ti pensar que tú puedes hacer lo que tú quieras?
Okay, so you have to be united with Yeshua, who's a Jew.
Entonces tú tienes que unirte con Yeshua, quien es un judío.
So if you're not doing things that are found in the Torah,
Entonces, si no estás haciendo ciertas cosas que se encuentran en la Torá,
you are not united with Yeshua.
entonces tú no estás unido con Yeshua.
So God is showing you kindness,
entonces Jehová, el Padre, te está mostrando bondad.
how is he showing you kindness?
¿Cómo es que Él te está mostrando bondad?
He's showing you grace and mercy.
Él te está mostrando gracia y misericordia.
Grace means he has every right to destroy you.
La gracia significa de que Él tiene todo el derecho de destruirte.
Mercy is he's giving you an opportunity to choose his righteous ways.
La misericordia es que Él te está dando la oportunidad de escoger sus caminos justos.
Then you will have a seat next to Messiah.
Y luego vas a tener un asiento al lado del Mesías.
But this is not being taught in the body of Messiah.
Mas esto no se enseña en el cuerpo del Mesías.
They think they can do whatever they want to do and get a seat.
Ellos piensan que pueden hacer lo que quieran y al final de la carrera tener un asiento.
I don't know if you have this in other countries,
Yo no sé si ustedes tienen esto en otros países,
but in New Jersey, especially during the summer,
pero en Nueva Jersey y especialmente durante el verano,
if you go to a restaurant on the boardwalk,
si tú vas a un restaurante al lado de la playa,
it says no shirt, no shoes, no service.
dice, si no tienes una franela, no te van a servir. Si no tienes zapatos, no te van a servir.
So if we're going to do that here,
Entonces, si vamos a hacer esto aquí,
what makes you think that you can just get into God's house any way you want?
entonces, ¿qué te hace a ti pensar de que si no hacemos eso aquí y que vas a poder entrar a la casa del Padre?
So verse 6 and 7 is a great encouragement
Entonces el versículo 6 y 7 son de gran ánimo,
because he's encouraging those who have left pagan style worship
porque Él está animando a aquellos que dejaron la adoración pagana
and chosen to follow the narrow path.
y escogieron seguir el camino angosto.
Now look at verse 7.
Miremos el versículo 7.
In order to exhibit in the ages to come how infinitely rich is his grace, how great is his kindness towards us who are united with the Messiah Yeshua. So what he's saying there
Entonces lo que Él está diciendo acá
is you were worshiping another God,
es que ustedes estaban adorando a otro Dios
and his grace was, he didn't kill you.
y su gracia fue que Él no te mató.
And now he's showing you kindness
Y ahora Él te está mostrando bondad
because he opened up your eyes to truth.
porque Él abrió tus ojos hacia la verdad.
I heard from somebody today
Yo escuché de alguien hoy
who said they'd been looking for this type of congregation for a long time and was blessed that they're here.
y que ellos habían estado buscando este tipo de congregación y estaban bendecidos al estar aquí.
So God is showing that person kindness
Entonces Jehová el Padre le está mostrando a esta persona bondad
and grace
y gracia,
because you were doing wrong.
porque tú estabas haciendo lo malo.
Maybe you were doing drugs.
Tal vez estabas usando drogas,
Maybe you were homosexual.
tal vez era un homosexual,
Maybe you were an adulterer
tal vez era un adúltero
and you didn't know God.
y tú no conocías a Dios.
Maybe you were an alcoholic,
Tal vez era un alcohólico,
a gossiper,
un chismoso.
a chismoso.
Chismoso.
Okay? And he showed his infinite grace.
Y él mostró su gracia infinita.
He allowed you to make your own decisions,
Él permitió que tú tomaras tus propias decisiones,
but now he's showing you great kindness
mas ahora Él te está mostrando gran bondad,
because you've chosen to leave that.
porque tú escogiste dejar eso.
That's what he's saying in these two verses.
Eso es lo que Él está diciendo aquí en estos dos versículos.
But the church uses it to say we don't need to follow Torah anymore.
Pero la iglesia usa estos versículos para decir que ya no debemos de seguir la Torá.
That's not what he's saying.
Esto no es lo que Él está diciendo ahí en estos dos versículos.
Let's go on to the next slide.
Vamos a la siguiente diapositiva.
Okay? Verse number 6 again.
Versículo número 6 una vez más.
That is, God raised us up with the Messiah Yeshua and seated us with him in heaven. Now, once again,
Ahora una vez más.
Jehovah raised Yeshua up
Jehová levantó a Yeshua
Yeshua is seated in heaven,
Yeshua fue sentado en el cielo.
that's confirmed because it's saying that he's seated in heaven.
Esto es confirmado porque aquí dice que él fue sentado en el cielo.
Can sin or sinful people
¿Será que puede el pecado o personas pecaminosas,
can sin enter heaven?
será que el pecado puede entrar al cielo?
No.
No,
Sin cannot enter heaven
el pecado no puede entrar al cielo.
because sin cannot be next to holiness.
Porque el pecado no puede estar al lado de lo santo.
So if you're worshiping on Sundays
Pero si tú estás adorando el domingo
and you're neglecting the Kadosh Mikra of Shabbat, the gathering of the saints,
y estás siendo negligente al Kadosh Mikra de que tienes que adorar el sábado,
do you think you're going to enter into the Father's house?
ahora tú piensas que vas a poder entrar a la casa del Padre.
So this is what he's saying in verse 6.
Esto es lo que le está diciendo en el versículo número 6.
He's allowing us to know
Él nos está permitiendo
that
conocer
Messiah is seated in heaven,
que Yeshua el Mesías fue sentado en el cielo,
that he's already there.
que Él ya está ahí en el cielo.
And Yeshua is holiness, so no sin was found in him.
Y Yeshua es santidad porque ningún pecado fue encontrado en Él.
Okay? But you say, he forgave me of all my sins.
Y tú dices, oh, Él me perdonó de todos mis pecados.
But then he said to the woman in the Gospel of John, chapter 8,
Pero le dijo a la mujer en el
Evangelio 1,
en el Juan o Yohanan capítulo 8,
he said, go sin no more.
Él le dijo, vete y no peques más.
That gives her a choice.
Esto le da a ella esto le da a ella para escoger.
Is everybody understanding this?
¿Será que todos están entendiendo eso?
It's very important to understand this concept
Es muy importante comprender o entender este concepto.
because Yeshua says that more than 75% of people that ever lived are not getting into heaven.
Porque Yeshua dijo que un 75% de las personas que vivieron no van a entrar al cielo.
Because sin cannot enter into heaven.
Porque el pecado no puede entrar al cielo.
But we have billions of Christians.
Pero tenemos millones de cristianos.
That means a lot of them and a lot of Messianics are not getting in.
Significa que muchos de ellos, como cristianos y muchos mesiánicos, no van a entrar al cielo.
You can't just say you love Jesus, and get in.
Tú simplemente no puedes decir que amas a Jesús y entrar al cielo.
The Father is not going to allow you to sit next to His holy Son.
El Padre no va a permitir que te sientes al lado de su Hijo que es santo.
If you don't want to follow the laws here,
Si tú no quieres seguir las leyes aquí,
remember He kicked Satan out for doing what he did.
recuerden que Él sacó a Satanás del cielo por lo que Él hizo.
And Jehovah made Hasatan to do a great job.
Y Jehová permitió que Satanás hiciera un buen trabajo
To protect the garden.
para proteger el jardín del Edén.
And then because he didn't do his job properly,
Y porque él no hizo su trabajo adecuadamente,
he kicked him out.
él lo sacó a él de ahí.
So what Shaul is saying here,
Entonces lo que Pablo está diciendo aquí,
you have been shown grace
a ti se te fue mostrado gracia
and kindness
y bondad
as long as you stay united with Messiah.
Mientras que tú sigas unido con el Mesías.
Is everybody seeing this?
¿Será que todos están viendo eso?
Let's go on to the next slide.
Vamos a la siguiente diapositiva.
Now let's read verse 6 and 7 again.
Vamos a leer versículos 6 y 7 una vez más.
That is, God raised us up with the Messiah Yeshua and seated us with him in heaven, in order to exhibit in the ages to come how infinitely rich is his grace, and how great is his kindness towards us who are united with the Messiah Yeshua. Amen? Okay, so he shows grace and kindness towards us.
Él muestra gracia y misericordia hacia nosotros.
Now you know the truth,
Ahora tú conoces la verdad,
Let the truth set you free.
Deja que la verdad te haga libre.
Okay? Set you free from what?
¿Que te haga libre de qué?
That you would exhibit Jehovah's grace.
De que tú vas a exhibir la gracia de Jehová.
Set you free from what?
¿Hacerte libre de qué?
Remember, last 2 weeks we read Romans chapter 1.
Recuerden que la semana pasada leímos Romanos capítulo 1.
You are set free from your flesh.
Tú fuiste liberado de tu carne.
So when you're putting makeup on,
Como cuando te estás maquillando,
coloring your hair,
pintándote tu pelo,
putting nail polish on,
poniéndote pintura de uñas.
so, like I was watching the conference this week,
Yo estaba viendo la conferencia esta semana.
and each year I always get this thing, I want to go and try to be with these people.
Y todos los años me entra un ánimo de que como quiero ir y estar con estas
I was
personas.
going to say to leadership, let's not have our barbecue, let's go to the conference this year.
Yo iba a hablar con el liderazgo y le iba a decir, bueno, no hagamos la barbacoa, sino vámonos a la conferencia.
And after watching it, I can't even fathom going there.
Y después de haber visto la conferencia, yo no ni siquiera puedo pensar en ir a ese lugar.
I'm watching the conference on their stream,
Yo estoy viendo la conferencia
and all the women have this bright red lipstick on.
y todas las mujeres tienen este pintalabio rojo.
And the words are coming out of their mouth, they're saying they're worshiping God.
Y las palabras están saliendo de su boca, dicen que ellas adoran a Dios.
What's the deal with the red lipstick? What's the purpose?
¿Cuál es el propósito de los labios rojos?
Why do you want people to notice your lips?
¿Por qué quieres tú que personas noten tus labios?
What purpose does it serve in God unless it's the flesh?
¿Y qué propósito sirve esto en Dios al menos que sea la carne?
Isn't that what Romans 1 tells us to escape from?
¿No será que esto es lo que Romano nos habla y nos dice que escapemos?
So here, God is showing you grace and mercy.
Entonces aquí Jehová te está mostrando gracia y misericordia.
He allows you to choose.
Él permite que tú escojas.
Now, I think God made everybody the right color.
Ahora yo creo que Jehová el Padre hizo a todas las personas del color correcto.
He gave you the right color hair that He wanted.
Él te dio el color correcto de pelo que Él quería que tú tuvieras.
He gave you the right color nails that He wanted.
Él te dio el color correcto de las uñas que Él quería que tengas.
The right color lips that He wanted.
El color correcto de los labios que Él quería.
And He exhibits grace to us, infinite grace, it says in verse 7.
Y Él exhibió gracia infinita, dice en el versículo 6.
And great kindness towards you.
Y gran bondad hacia ti.
Once you leave your flesh.
Una vez que tú dejas la carne.
And this is what Shaul is writing in Ephesians 2.
Y eso es lo que Pablo está escribiendo aquí en la carta a los Efesios capítulo 2.
Put it in context, everybody.
Pongan esto en contextos, por favor.
Ephesus was Las Vegas.
Éxodo era Las Vegas. Éfeso, era Las Vegas.
Well, Exodus was Las Vegas too.
Bueno, el Éxodo también era Las Vegas.
What do you want to say, Mr. Asher? We ran away from Vegas too. Okay. So here, in these two verses,
Aquí en estos dos versículos,
he's saying, let your flesh go.
Él está diciendo, deja que tu carne se vaya.
Yeshua had to let his flesh go.
Yeshua tuvo que dejar que su carne se fuera.
Do you think it was easy to get his beard pulled out?
¿Tú crees que fue fácil que le jalaran la barba?
Do you think it was easy to get whipped?
¿Tú crees que fue fácil el que la hayan azotado?
When he said if he wanted, he could have had 12 legions of angels at his disposal.
Cuando él dijo que él podía tener 12 legiones de ángeles a su disposición.
So you put that in the context
Entonces-
of verse 6 and 7.
Entonces pone esto en contexto de aquí del versículo al versículo 6 y 7.
You put Romans 1 into context of verse 6 and 7.
Ahora tú pones a Romanos capítulo 1 en contexto con el versículo 6 y 7 de Efesios capítulo 2.
Because verse 6 is beautiful.
El versículo 6 es hermoso.
That you're going to get a seat next to the Messiah
Que tú vas a obtener un asiento al lado del Mesías
at the wedding feast of the Lamb.
a la boda del Cordero,
As long as you follow verse 7.
solo si sigues el versículo 7.
You must stay united. He's telling them, stay united.
Él le está diciendo a ellos, manténganse unidos.
You've left those bad actions.
Ustedes dejaron esas malas acciones.
You look like the world.
Ustedes parecían como el mundo.
You acted like the world.
Ustedes actuaron como el mundo.
Now, as long as you stay united with Yeshua,
Ahora, solo si permanecen unidos con Yeshua.
that's why Yeshua said, follow me.
Por eso es que Yeshua dijo, sígueme.
So now Shaul is saying, he's shown us grace.
Ahora Pablo está diciendo, Él nos mostró gracia.
He's showing us kindness.
Él nos está mostrando bondad.
You have an invitation.
Tú tienes una invitación.
That doesn't mean you're going to get in to the house.
Mas esto no significa de que tú vas a entrar a la casa.
Now that brings into the 10 virgins.
Ahora esto lo trae a las 10 vírgenes.
Remember in Matthew 25,
Recuerden Mateo 25.
Yeshua talks about the 10 virgins.
Yeshua habla de las 10 vírgenes.
5 were wise and 5 were morons.
5 fueron sensatas y 5 fueron tontas.
5 follow Yeshua,
5 siguieron a Yeshua
then 5 come later.
y 5 llegaron luego.
They have their invitation
Ellas tenían sus invitaciones
because they're the bride of Messiah.
porque ellas son la novia del Mesías.
But they knock on the door.
Ellos tocaron, le golpearon la puerta,
And the guard won't let them in.
mas el guardia no le permitió entrar.
But I've been shown mercy and kindness, grace and kindness.
Pero a mí se me fue mostrado gracia y bondad.
I got my invitation.
Yo tengo mi invitación.
Is it? You're gonna be. He told me I was gonna be seated.
Él me dijo que yo iba a ser sentado.
Isn't that scary?
¿No será que esto es tenebroso o
Very.
da
very
miedo?
is everybody seeing this? To me, it's amazing.
¿Será que todos están viendo esto? A mí me parece asombroso esto.
When you think about this incredible letter,
Cuando tú piensas y sobre esta carta tan increíble,
he's giving you an invitation.
Él te está dando una invitación.
You've left those pagan type of actions.
Tú dejaste este tipo de acciones paganas.
You've been shown grace
A ti se te fue mostrado gracia
and kindness.
y bondad.
You got your
Tú
invitation,
tienes tu invitación
and you get to the door,
y tú llegas a la puerta
and you knock on the door,
y tú tocas la puerta
and the guard says, "Get away from me! I don't know who you are."
y el guardia de la puerta dice, aléjate de mí, yo no sé quién eres tú.
But Yeshua, I love you.
Pero Yeshua, yo te amo.
Then you should have been with me.
Entonces Él te dirá, tú debiste entonces estar conmigo.
You were supposed to be united with me,
Tú debiste estar unido conmigo.
so that when I came, you knew when I would be there.
Entonces para cuando yo viniera, tú sabías que yo iba a estar ahí.
But you couldn't even get the Shabbat right,
Pero tú ni siquiera pudiste guardar el sábado.
provided you stay united with Messiah.
Debemos de permanecer unidos con el Mesías.
That means you have a choice.
Esto significa de que tú tuviste una oportunidad de escoger.
That means not the once saved, always saved is gone.
Esto significa de que una vez salvo, siempre salvo, ya eso no existe.
Yes, Rebel? Give her the mic.
I was thinking what you say about the invitation and, you're part of the body of Mashiach, and when you get there, he says, I don't know you. And I was thinking about the people that finally comes to the way and then leaves. And when that happens, the Lord is going to say, well, you saw my goodness, you saw my kindness, but you took advantage of me. So just because he has forgiven them, that doesn't mean we have to take advantage and go and start doing whatever we want. But we have to be very careful the way that we walk instead.
Yeah, it's quite an amazing understanding. Let's move on to the next slide. Anybody else want to have a comment?
¿Será que alguien más tiene un comentario?
Everybody's good? You good, Elizabeth? You knew all this already? You're a millennial, you knew all this already. I think you're a millennial. Going on to the next slide.
Vamos a la siguiente diapositiva.
Verse number 7 again.
Versículo número 7 una vez más.
In order to exhibit in the ages to come how infinitely rich is his grace, how great is his kindness towards us who are united with the Messiah Yeshua. Okay? So, here in the CJB it says united.
Entonces aquí en la Biblia completa judía dice unido.
In other translations it says toward, like going towards something.
En otras traducciones dicen como que si va hacia algún lugar.
So, the CJB is more like poetry.
La Biblia completa judía es más como algo poético.
Okay? So, this meaning of the word toward
El significado de esta palabra hacia
and why Dr. Stern used united
y por qué el Dr. Stern usa unido
is the first definition of G1909.
es la primera definición de la palabra G1909.
Definition number 1 means upon,
La definición número 1 dice sobre,
on,
en,
okay? Before.
antes.
Number 2 is of position.
Número 2 es de posición.
Over, like over.
Sobre algo, como que si estuviera sobre algo.
And definition number 3 is across.
Y la definición número 3 es a través.
Okay? So when you put these definitions together, you get an understanding of united.
Entonces, cuando tú pones estas definiciones juntas, tú vas a encontrar un entendimiento de unidad, unido.
Because if you read who are upon or on with Messiah,
Porque si lees quiénes son los que están sobre o con el Mesías,
like you're on with him, you're understanding with him.
como que tú estás en entendimiento, estás de acuerdo con él.
Or who are in position with the Messiah Yeshua.
O quién está en posición con el Mesías Yeshua.
So that would be united.
Esto también significaría unido.
You're not positioned against him, you're united with him.
Tú no estás posicionado en contra de él, sino a favor de él, con él, unido.
Because, definition number 3, there is the word against.
Porque aquí en la definición número 3 dice, la definición dice en contra.
So you can't be against him and be seated next to him.
Tú no puedes estar en contra de él y estar sentado al lado de él.
So this word is more that you're united with him.
Entonces esta palabra significa más de que tú estás unido con él.
Going on to the next slide.
Vamos a la siguiente diapositiva.
Look, we're getting to 2 sections tonight.
Vamos a lograr estudiar dos secciones esta noche.
Okay, now we're in section number 4.
Ahora estamos en la sección número 4.
We're in verse 8 through 10.
Estamos en el versículo 8 al 10.
Section number 4, verse 8 through 10.
Sección número 4, versículo 8 al 10.
For you have been delivered by grace through trusting. And even this is not your accomplishment, but YEHOVAH'S gift. You were not delivered by your own actions, therefore no one should boast. For we are of God's making, created in union with the Messiah Yeshua for a life of good actions, already prepared by God for us to do. Okay? So let's take a synopsis of these 3 verses.
Entonces vamos a tener un resumen de estos 3 versículos.
Most people, oh, you got to switch batteries?
Yes.
All right, 1 second, everybody. Now, I don't know if those batteries that you left on the desk on Shabbat were good or...
They should be good.
Okay.
I did not use them.
Okay. Hey, 1 second, everybody. Un momento, por favor. Okay, the synopsis of these 3 verses.
El resumen de estos 3 versículos es:
Most people in this section focus on the grace instead of the gift.
la mayoría de las personas se enfocan en la gracia en vez del regalo.
Yehovah had no reason to give the gift except he loves us.
Jehová no tenía ninguna razón por darnos un regalo más el excepto de que él nos amaba.
Okay, you understand that?
Entiendan esto.
He had no reason to give you the gift
Él no tenía ninguna razón para darte un regalo,
except that he created you and he loves you.
excepto de que él te creó y que él te amaba.
It
y
was
te ama.
not our work for the gift.
Esto no fue nuestro trabajo para el regalo,
Because we're sinners.
porque nosotros somos pecadores.
But he gave you the gift of grace anyway.
Pero él aún así te dio el regalo de la gracia.
That doesn't mean you're getting into heaven.
Esto no significa que vas a entrar al cielo.
That's what people don't understand.
Eso es lo que las personas no entienden.
And this is what most of the body of Messiah is poorly teaching.
Y esto es lo que la mayoría del cuerpo del Mesías pobremente no está enseñando esto.
You're delivered through grace.
Tú fuiste liberado a través de la gracia.
Yes, he's given you a gift.
Sí, Él te está dando un regalo.
He doesn't have to give the
Él no
gift.
tiene que darte un regalo.
That doesn't mean you're getting back into his house.
Esto no significa que vas a entrar de vuelta a su casa.
He gave Satan grace.
Él le dio gracia a Satanás.
He's allowing him to run around on the world.
Él está permitiendo que él corra de un lado al otro en la tierra.
Not that Satan is ever going to change,
No que Satanás algún día va a cambiar,
but he has a plan.
pero él tiene un plan.
He has a plan.
Él tiene un plan.
Go ahead, take a sip. Okay? Okay? That's what people don't understand.
Y esto es lo que las personas no entienden.
I've heard so many teachings.
Yo he escuchado tantas enseñanzas.
It makes me want to throw up
Esto me hace querer vomitar.
because these teachers don't know what the hell they're talking about.
Porque estos profesores no saben de lo que están hablando.
We're delivered by grace.
Oh, fuimos liberados por la gracia.
Yes, the Father is giving you another opportunity to choose his ways.
Sí, el Padre te está dando la oportunidad de escoger sus caminos.
Remember when we sinned in the desert
Recuerden cuando pecamos en el desierto
and the Lord sent the snakes?
y Jehová, el Padre, mandó a las culebras.
Everybody didn't die.
No todos murieron,
24,000 did.
24,000 murieron.
He was showing the rest grace.
Él estaba mostrando al resto gracia.
Everybody was delivered out of Egypt.
Todos fueron puestos en libertad de Egipto.
Now let's take this verse number 8 again.
Ahora vamos a leer este versículo 8 una vez más.
For you have been delivered by grace through trusting, and even this is not your accomplishment, but God's gift. Let's think of this as we're leaving Egypt.
Vamos a tomar esto en el concepto de que estábamos dejando Egipto.
We're delivered by grace.
fuimos puestos en libertad por gracia.
God didn't have to deliver us out of Egypt.
Jehová el Padre no tenía que ponernos en libertad de Egipto
At that time,
en ese tiempo.
he said to Abraham, you're going to be slaves 400 years or more.
Él le dijo a Abraham, ustedes van a ser esclavos por 400 años o más.
But it was God's gift.
Pero fue su regalo.
So people focus on the grace
Las personas se enfocan en la gracia
instead of that he gave the gift anyway.
en vez de darse cuenta de que Él dio el regalo de toda manera.
Now let's go to the next slide.
Vamos a la siguiente diapositiva.
We're on slide number 104.
Estamos en la diapositiva número 104.
Let's focus now on verse 8 again.
Vamos a enfocarnos una vez más en el versículo 8.
For you have been delivered by grace through trusting, and even this is not your accomplishment, but Jehovah's gift. Amen? Okay, first of all, it's not Yeshua's gift, it's the Father's gift.
Primero que todo, esto no es el regalo de Yeshua, es el regalo del Padre.
That's what most people don't understand again.
Una vez más, esto es lo que la mayoría de las personas no entienden.
Okay, now let's look at the word trusting, or in some translations, it's the word faith.
Vamos a ver la palabra confiar, o en algunas traducciones es la palabra fe.
It is G4102.
Es la palabra G4102.
The word trusting or faith means conviction,
La palabra confiar o fe significa convicción,
belief respecting man's relationship to Jehovah and divine things.
creer y respetar la relación del hombre con Jehová y las cosas divinas.
So once you understand what are divine things,
Una vez que tú entiendas qué son las cosas divinas,
that's what most people don't understand.
eso es lo que la mayoría de las personas no entienden.
Because Yeshua, they think, Yeshua on the cross says, it's finished.
Porque ellos piensan que Yeshua dijo en la cruz, todo se terminó.
So then what are divine things then?
Entonces, ¿qué son las cosas divinas?
What is Shaul telling us in verse 8?
¿Qué nos está diciendo Pablo en el versículo 8?
What is he telling them and what is he telling us?
¿Qué le está diciendo a ellos y qué nos está diciendo a nosotros?
So they left Artemis of the Ephesians.
Entonces ellos dejaron a Artemisa de los Efesios.
Now they're trusting what?
Ahora ellos están confiando en qué.
What would be a divine thing that they would be able to trust in?
¿Qué sería algo divino en el cual ellos están confiando?
What was being read every Shabbat in the synagogue?
¿Qué era lo que era leído en todos los Shabbat, en las sinagogas?
What did Shaul and Barnabas teach about on Shabbat?
¿Qué fue lo que Pablo y Barnabás enseñaban en los sábados?
Remember in the book of Acts,
Recuerden en el libro de los Hechos.
the whole town came
La ciudad completa se acercó
and they heard the Torah for the first time.
y ellos escucharon la Torá por la primera vez.
Is the Torah a divine thing?
¿Será que la Torá es algo divino?
Wasn't this the words that Jehovah spoke to Moshe, his Shamash, his servant?
¿No fueron estas las palabras que Jehová el Padre habló a Moisés, su siervo?
So now in verse number 8,
Entonces ahora en el versículo 8,
you're delivered by grace
tú fuiste liberado por gracia,
through trusting the divine things.
por haber confiado en las cosas divinas.
Because you were worshipers of Aphrodite,
Porque ustedes eran adoradores de Afrodita,
Artemis of the Ephesians.
Artemisa de los Efesios.
You were trusting in those things.
Tú estabas confiando en esas cosas.
Now you're trusting in the real divine things.
Ahora tú estás confiando en las cosas reales divinas.
So it doesn't matter what day they worship.
Entonces esto no importa el día en que ellos estaban adorando.
You're trusting in divine things. What would be something divine?
Tú estás adorando tú estás confiando en las cosas divinas. ¿Qué serán estas cosas divinas?
What did Jehovah speak from the mountain of Sinai?
¿Qué fue lo que Jehová el Padre habló desde el monte Sinaí?
Keep the Shabbat holy.
Santifiquen el Shabbat.
Would that be something divine?
¿Será que esto es algo divino?
Since the Father spoke it, I think that's kind of divine.
Sabiendo que fue el Padre quien lo habló, yo creo que esto es algo divino.
The Father spoke the kosher laws in Leviticus 11 by April 11.
Jehová el Padre habló las leyes kosher en Levíticos 11.
So if you're trusting in them,
Tú estás confiando en ellas.
you left the pagan worship.
Tú dejaste la adoración pagana.
But if you're wanting acceptance from other people,
Pero si tú quieres aceptación de otras personas,
you're still trusting in the world's recognition.
tú aún estás confiando en el reconocimiento del mundo.
So now Shaul is moving on in his teaching
Ahora Pablo está avanzando, adelantándose en sus enseñanzas
to this group of people,
hacia este grupo de personas,
to this new Messianic congregation.
a esta nueva congregación mesiánica.
And he's telling them,
Y él les está diciendo,
it's great.
oh, esto es asombroso.
You're going to have a seat next to Messiah
Ustedes van a tener un asiento al lado del Mesías,
because you're united with him.
porque ustedes están unidos con él.
This is awesome.
Esto es maravilloso.
You're trusting in the Torah and the divine things of God.
Ustedes están confiando en la Torah y en las cosas divinas de Dios.
Now you're going to be able to sit next to Messiah in heaven.
Ahora ustedes van a poder sentarse al lado del Mesías en el cielo.
Or you can be like one of the 5 morons
O puede ser como una de las cinco tontas
that are going to be knocking on the door saying, I got my invitation.
que van a estar tocando la puerta y van a decir, oh, yo tengo mi invitación.
I got my red lipstick on for you, honey.
Oh, yo tengo mi pintalabios rojo para ti, mi amor.
I got my eyeshadow on.
Oh, tengo mi máscara para ti.
This lady last night looked like Tammy Faye Baker.
Esta persona anoche se parecía a Tammy Faye Baker.
She had this gigantic eyeshadow on.
Ella tenía esta sombra para los ojos grande.
It was this musical group, this Christian group called the Isaacs. They were very talented.
Este grupo cristiano se llamaba Isaac,
But the woman looked like a whore.
mas la mujer parecía una prostituta.
If you take a picture, you Google fashion photos in Google.
Busca en Google fotos de fashion in Spanish, de moda,
And then you put her picture up in the middle of all these pictures.
y tú pones su foto de ella en medio de todas estas fotos,
You're not going to see any difference.
tú no vas a ver ninguna diferencia.
So here what Rav Shaul is saying,
Entonces aquí lo que Pablo o Rab Shaul está diciendo,
you guys used to be doing this at Artemis of the Ephesians.
ustedes solían hacer esto ante Artemisa de los Efesios.
Because remember, that's why I started this study off with what they were doing.
Recuerden que empezamos este estudio, hablando de qué era lo que ellos estaban haciendo en ese tiempo.
And they were worshiping all the things of the flesh.
Y ellos estaban adorando todas las cosas de la carne.
So now Shaul is saying, you guys were shown grace and mercy.
Ahora Pablo le está diciendo a ellos, ustedes se les fue mostrado gracia y misericordia.
You left those actions.
Ustedes dejaron esas acciones.
You are now going to be seated next to Messiah
Ustedes ahora van a ser sentados al lado del Mesías.
because you're united with him,
Porque ustedes están unidos con Él.
because you've been delivered through grace by trusting the divine things.
Porque ustedes fueron puestos en libertad por confiar en las cosas divinas.
You kept Pesach.
Ustedes guardaron la Pascua.
You counted the Omer.
Ustedes contaron el Homer.
You lifted your bread for Shavuot.
Ustedes levantaron sus panes para Shavuot.
You stopped worshiping pagan holidays like Christmas.
Ustedes dejaron de adorar los días paganos como la Navidad.
You touched the holy things,
Tú tocaste las cosas santas.
and you have now become holy
Ahora tú pasaste a ser santo.
because you left the other stuff.
Porque tú dejaste los demás.
This is what a great encouragement it is to follow the divine things.
Esto es lo que se llama un gran ánimo a seguir las cosas divinas.
But most teachers don't want to say this.
Pero la mayoría de los profesores no quieren decir esto.
What do you think, Marty?
Good teacher, always. Pretty good. The church is just
Church chicken.
the church is concentrated in the on grace and not on works because they misunderstanding what works means. They say we don't need the law, only grace. And you say that's it. But it's totally the other way. Well, Russia always putting the law in the high place, actually.
As we heard from our Professor Martin,
Como escuchamos de nuestro profesor Martin,
I think that as we go through this letter, it's quite amazing.
Yo creo que mientras vamos avanzando en este estudio, me parece fantástico.
Now, Martin brings up an interesting point.
Ahora, el hermano Martín, él trae un punto bien interesante.
It is by works.
Es por las obras.
Where do you see works in verse 8?
¿Dónde ves tú las obras en el versículo 8?
You are trusting.
Tú estabas confiando.
That takes a lot of work
Esto conlleva mucho trabajo.
because it's going to cost you a lot.
Porque esto te va a costar mucho.
It's going to cost you your old life.
Esto te va a costar tu vida vieja.
And most people don't want to leave their comfort zone.
Y la mayoría de las personas no quieren dejar su lugar de confortabilidad.
Go ahead. Give him the mic.
É muito importante. Notamos que das 10 virgens, né?
Talking regarding the 10 virgins,
Eram as 10 virgens,
they were 10 virgins,
eram mais 5 eram 100% legalistas.
but 5 of them were 100% legalistic.
E as outras 5 eram mestres, não cumpria a lei toda.
And the other 5, they were just, they were not following, they were not fulfilling the law.
Porque ela achava que cumprisse a lei da maneira que ela achava,
Because they used to fulfill the law the way they thought it was okay.
ela conseguia entrar para as bodas.
And then try to get into the wedding.
Yeshua falou muito sobre isso.
Yeshua spoke a lot about this.
E quando ele foi para o céu,
And when he went to heaven,
quando ele aparece a João na ilha de
when
Patmos,
he in the island of Patmos, when he revealed himself to Yochanan,
ele fala sobre em Revelation 3, de 14 a 16,
he talks on Revelation 6, verse 13 and 14, 14 to 16.
ele fala para a igreja de Laodiceia,
He spoke to the church of the congregation of Laodicea.
e vocês tiveram em sua mão o Torá, né?
You guys had the Torah in your hands,
Mas como tudo não foi nem quente e nem fria,
but like
vocês
you,
morrem.
nobody was neither hot or cold.
Eu vou vomitar em minha boca.
And since this is what's going on, I will throw you up from my. Yeah, I'm
Vomit you
vomit
out.
you.
Porque para a lei de Adonai,
Because for the law of Yehovah Adonai,
ou você cumpre a lei 100%,
or either you fulfill the law 100%,
porque como ela é, né?
because the way it is,
Ou você não faz nada.
or you just do not do anything.
Melhor você não fazer nada,
It's better you do not doing anything,
que ele ainda pode te ouvir como ouviu Jonas no ventre da baleia.
and you just then you're gonna end up like Jonas in the belly of the fish.
Talvez ainda vai ser mais escutado do que você ficar fazendo as coisas desorganadamente.
And by being like this, you're gonna be better than just doing everything every way you want.
Right. Get the mic so you can turn it off. Anybody else have any questions or comments?
¿Será que alguien más tiene algún comentario o alguna pregunta?
You guys are quiet.
Ustedes están callados.
You're all doing your Lisbeth impression. She's only quiet here. Okay. Let's move on to the next slide.
Vamos a la siguiente diapositiva.
That's a good parallel that you did, Augusto.
Esse foi um bom paralelo que você fez de dos versículos e capítulos e livros.
All right, let's go to verse 8, 9, and 10 again.
Vamos a ir a Efesios capítulo 2, versículo 8 al 10 nuevamente.
For you have been delivered by grace through trusting, and even this is not your accomplishment, but God's gift, the Father's gift, Jehovah's gift. You're not delivered by your own actions, therefore no one should boast. For we are of Jehovah's making, created in union with the Messiah Yeshua for a life of good actions, already prepared by Jehovah for us to do. Okay, so now we're looking at verse 8, the gift.
Entonces ahora estamos viendo el versículo 8, el regalo.
Okay, so we're delivered by grace through trusting.
Fuimos puestos en libertad por la gracia, por haber creído.
We now know that trusting is the divine gifts.
Ahora sabemos que el confiar es un regalo divino.
Now, let's see what the word gift is.
Ahora vamos a ver qué significa en la palabra regalo.
Gift is 1435.
La palabra don, el don significa, es la palabra G1435.
It means, number one, a gift or a present.
Significa un regalo o un presente.
Number two,
Número 2,
sacrifices and other gifts offered to God.
sacrificios o regalos sacrificios o regalos ofrendados a Dios.
That changes what you're reading now.
A esto ahora cambia lo que estás leyendo.
Let's look at verse 8. We're going to do it normal.
Vamos a leer el versículo 8 y lo vamos a hacer normal.
You've been delivered by grace through trusting.
Fuiste puesto en libertad por la gracia, por confiar.
And even this is not your accomplishment,
Y aunque esto no fue tu trabajo,
but Jehovah's gift called Yeshua.
pero el trabajo de Dios o del Padre, que es su Hijo Yeshua,
Because the gift is a sacrifice.
porque el regalo es el sacrificio,
It's not your accomplishment.
no fue tu trabajo,
It's Jehovah's gift of salvation through his Son.
es el regalo de la salvación a través de su Hijo Yeshua.
So you're delivered by grace.
Entonces tú fuiste puesto en libertad por la gracia.
Grace means God had every right to kill you.
La gracia significa que Jehová el Padre tuvo todo el derecho de matarte.
Mercy means you now have a choice.
La misericordia significa de que ahora tienes una oportunidad para escoger.
Because of Jehovah's gift, Yeshua, which is the sacrifice,
Porque el regalo que es Yeshua y es el sacrificio,
now it's your choice
ahora es tu decisión
to be born again.
de nacer de nuevo.
to leave your old actions.
para dejar tus viejas acciones.
Now it changes what you're reading.
Ahora esto cambia. Oh, ahora esto cambia lo que tú estás leyendo.
Now that you have the definitions, it changes what you're reading.
Ahora que tú tienes las definiciones, esto cambia lo que estás leyendo.
Because, people think, oh, it's a gift of grace.
Oh, porque las personas dicen, oh, esto es un don, esto es un regalo, el regalo de la gracia.
No, the gift is Yeshua.
No, el regalo es Yeshua.
He paid his life to give you an opportunity.
Él pagó su vida para que tú puedas tener una oportunidad.
People don't ask the question,
Las personas no hacen la pregunta,
what did Yeshua do?
¿qué fue lo que hizo Yeshua?
Well, he paid my price.
Oh, bueno, él pagó mi precio.
So does that mean you can go fornicate,
Ahora esto significa de que tú puedes ir y fornicar,
commit adultery,
a cometer adulterio,
gamble, Steal.
jugar al azar,
steal,
robar,
covet,
codiciar,
be a homosexual,
ser un homosexual,
be a transvestite?
ser un transvesti.
No.
No,
The gift is
el
Yesh-
regalo es,
Yeshua made a way for you to get to the Father personally.
Yeshua hizo un camino para que tú personalmente puedas llegar al Padre.
Because now you're trusting in the divine things.
Porque ahora tú estás confiando en las cosas divinas.
You are a Cohen, you're a priest of your own self.
Tú eres un sacerdote de ti mismo.
You've left Artemis of the Ephesians.
Tú dejaste a Artemisa de los Efesios.
You've changed your actions.
Tú cambiaste tus acciones.
You stopped living in the flesh.
Tú dejaste de vivir en la carne.
You trust in the divine things,
Tú confiaste en las cosas divinas,
like a married woman covering her head,
como una mujer casada cubriendo su pelo,
not coloring her hair and looking like a prostitute.
no pintando su pelo pareciendo una prostituta.
Why does a prostitute color her hair?
¿Por qué es que una prostituta cambia el color de su pelo?
She wants to look more attractive
Ella quiere aparentar o verse más atractiva
so that she can make more money selling her body.
para que así ella pueda ganar más dinero al vender su cuerpo.
Why does she put on makeup?
Porque ella se pone maquillaje
To hide her flaws.
para esconder las faltas que hay en su rostro,
So that she can make more money.
para que así ella pueda hacer más dinero.
Well, I don't want to go out looking like that.
Bueno, yo no quiero ir afuera viéndome así.
Why did God make you wrong?
¿Por qué? ¿Será que Dios te hizo equivocado?
Did he make your eyes the wrong color?
¿Será que Él hizo tus ojos del color equivocado?
Did he make your eyelids the wrong color?
¿Será que Él hizo tus párpados del color equivocado?
Did he make your nails the wrong color?
¿Será que Él hizo tus uñas del color equivocado?
Your toenails the wrong color?
Tus uñas de los pies del color equivocado.
You're not trusting in the divine things of God.
Tú no estás confiando en las cosas divinas de Dios.
He wants you to represent him.
Él quiere que tú lo representes a Él.
Did Yeshua wear cologne?
¿Será que Yeshua se puso perfume?
Yes, once,
Sí, una sola vez,
right before he died.
justo antes de morir.
But that prepared his body for death.
Mas esto fue el bálsamo preparándose para su muerte.
Because the spikenard is a pain reliever.
Porque el aceite spikenard este aceite alivia el dolor.
And pure spikenard will take away a lot of pain.
Y el aceite de spikenard puro, esto quitaría mucho dolor.
Nardo.
Nardo.
But it's also the scent of the bridegroom.
Pero también es el aroma del novio.
So here,
Entonces aquí
you're trusting in the divine things.
tú estás confiando en las cosas divinas.
You're trusting in the gift that God gave to us.
Tú estás confiando en el regalo que Dios nos dio.
The gift is salvation.
el regalo de la salvación, el regalo de la salvación.
The gift is Yeshua.
El regalo es Yeshua.
Yeshua says in John 3, you got to be born again.
Yeshua dice en Juan 3, tú debes de nacer de nuevo.
Let's go on to the next slide.
Vamos a la siguiente diapositiva.
Now you read verse 8 and 9, it has a whole nother understanding.
Ahora, si tú lees el versículo 8 y 9 juntos, esto es un entendimiento completamente diferente.
I'm so glad Robertson Veronica asked me to do Galatians and Ephesians, Colossians.
Yo estoy tan contento de que la Robinson Verónica me pidió que hiciera los libros, las cartas de Gálatas y Efesios.
Huh? You have been delivered by grace through trusting, and even this is not your accomplishment, but God's gift. You are not delivered by your own actions, therefore no one should boast. Okay? So what's he saying now?
Ahora, ¿qué le está diciendo?
Don't boast because you received the gift.
No te halagues porque tú recibiste el regalo,
Because everybody receives the same gift.
porque todos recibieron el mismo regalo.
Because the king said to go everywhere and invite everybody to the wedding.
Porque el rey dijo, vayan a todas las partes e inviten a todos a la boda.
That's what he's reminding the congregation about.
Esto es lo que él está recordando a la congregación.
Don't boast because everybody got the same gift.
No se halaguen porque todos recibieron el mismo regalo.
And what's the same gift?
Y ahora, ¿cuál es el mismo regalo?
The divine things,
Las cosas divinas.
that's Torah.
Esa es la Torah.
What's the gift?
¿Cuál es el regalo?
Yeshua made a way for you to get to the Father through him.
Yeshua hizo un camino para que pudieras llegar al Padre a través de él.
And you received the gift of life.
Y recibiste el regalo de la vida.
What's the gift of life?
¿Cuál es el regalo de la vida?
You did nothing to come out of your mother's womb.
Tú no hiciste nada para salir del vientre de tu madre.
Your mother did all the work.
Tu mamá fue quien hizo todo el trabajo.
Let's pause there for a second.
Vamos a pausar ahí.
That's a very interesting understanding.
Esto es un entendimiento muy interesante.
Now, if you were a chicken
Ahora, si tú eras un pollito
or a duck,
o un pato,
then you would say, I did some work to be born.
tú dirías, bueno, yo tuve que hacer algún trabajo para poder nacer.
A chicken's got to break out of its own egg.
El pollito tiene que tratar de romper el huevo para poder salir de él,
Right?
¿verdad?
When the chicken's ready to be born,
Cuando el pollito está listo para nacer,
it's got to break out of its own shell.
tiene que salir de su propio cascarón.
Mom doesn't break open the shell.
La mamá no es quien rompe este cascarón.
What did you do to be born?
¿Qué fue lo que tú hiciste para tu nacer?
What did any of us do to be born?
¿Qué fue lo que alguno de nosotros, todos nosotros hicimos para poder nacer?
Elizabeth, what did you do to be born? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. And for at least a year, you do nothing except cause problems.
Y por lo mínimo durante tu primer año de vida no haces nada más que solo causar problemas.
You don't work.
No se trabaja,
You pee on yourself.
tú te orinas,
You poop on yourself.
te haces tus necesidades en ti mismo,
You cry a lot.
lloras mucho.
You say, everything's about you. Feed me.
Todo se trata sobre ti. Oh, dame de comer,
Change my diaper.
cambia mis pañales.
I'll just stay here and look cute.
Yo simplemente me voy a quedar aquí y verme todo bonito.
And don't put that red lipstick on me.
Y por favor, no me pongan ese pintalabios rojo.
I mean, what did you do to be born?
¿Qué fue lo que hiciste para nacer?
Nothing. It was a gift of God.
Nada, esto fue un regalo de Dios.
What did you do to get even put into your mother's womb?
¿Qué fue lo que hiciste para ser puesto en el vientre de tu madre?
Nothing.
Nada.
Man and woman came together
El hombre y la mujer se juntaron
in marital understanding,
en entendimiento matrimonial.
and then God put you in your mother's womb.
Entonces Dios fue quien te puso en el vientre de tu madre.
So you shouldn't be boasting about being born again, he's saying.
Entonces él le dice, ustedes no tienen que estar halagándose de haber nacido de nuevo.
God gave you a gift.
Dios, el Padre, fue quien te dio un regalo.
You left Aphrodite.
Ustedes dejaron a Afrodita,
You left pagan worship.
Ustedes dejaron la adoración pagana,
But Yeshua did all the work.
pero Yeshua fue quien hizo todo el trabajo.
Now you have to be united with him.
Ahora tú tienes que unirte con él.
So don't boast about the gift that God gave to you.
Entonces no se halaguen por el regalo que Jehová les dio.
Now a chicken does a lot of work to get out of the shell.
Ahora un pollito hace mucho trabajo para poder salir del cascarón.
It's been in there in the shell.
Ha pasado tiempo ahí en el cascarón.
It hasn't been eating anything
No ha comido nada,
except what's been provided in the egg.
excepto lo que ha sido proveído dentro del huevo.
Now it's got to break out of its shell.
Ahora tiene que romper este cascarón.
You did nothing.
Tú no hiciste nada.
Yeshua was the one who climbed the hill.
Yeshua fue quien subió la montaña.
Now your job is trusting
Ahora tu trabajo es confiar
in the divine things.
en las cosas divinas.
You've been given a gift.
A ti se te fue dado un regalo.
Let's read verse 8 and 9 again, please.
Vamos a leer el versículo 8 y 9 una vez más, por favor.
For you've been delivered by grace through trusting, and even though this is not your accomplishment, but Jehovah's gift, you were not delivered by your own actions, therefore no one should boast. Because people love to say, I did it.
Porque a las personas les gustan, yo lo hice, halagarse a sí mismo.
Now, why is he saying this in verse number 9?
Ahora, ¿por qué le está diciendo esto en el versículo 9?
Because he knows people still live in the flesh.
Porque él sabe que las personas, el ser humano aún sigue viviendo en la carne.
Don't boast.
No se halaguen.
I left this, I did this.
Yo dejé esto, yo hice aquello.
Even Shaul sometimes boasts a little bit.
Aún Pablo también se halagó a sí mismo un poco.
I've been in prison this many times for Messiah.
Yo he estado en la cárcel todo este tiempo por el Mesías.
Wonderful.
Bien chévere.
Thanks for sharing.
Gracias por compartir.
It's good that you did that,
Es bueno que hiciste eso,
but just run your race.
pero simplemente corre tu carrera.
Let's go on to the next slide.
Vamos a la siguiente diapositiva.
Let's read verse 8 through 10 again.
Vamos a leer el versículo 8 al 9 una vez, el versículo 8 al 10 una vez más.
For you have been delivered by grace through trusting, and even this is not your accomplishment, but Jehovah's gift. You were not delivered by your own actions, therefore no one should boast. For we are of God's making, created in union with the Messiah Yeshua for a life of good actions, already prepared by God for us to do. Okay? So once again, we're looking at the gift.
Una vez más estamos viendo el regalo.
Okay? So in union, what does that mean in verse?
Entonces, en unión, ¿qué significa esto en el versículo 10?
In verse 10,
En el versículo 10,
what does it mean to be in union?
¿qué significa estar en unión?
Once again, we have that word,
Una vez más tenemos esta palabra,
that you have to be in union to receive this gift.
que tú tienes que estar en unión para poder recibir este regalo.
Now, in verse number 10,
Ahora en el versículo 10,
it says, for a life of good actions.
dice, por una vida de buenas acciones.
If there's good actions, then there has to be bad actions.
Entonces, si hay buenas acciones, también deben haber malas acciones,
Right?
¿verdad?
If there's good actions, there has to be bad actions.
Si hay buenas acciones, hay malas acciones.
So that means we're not under grace.
Esto significa que no estamos bajo la gracia.
So let's see what good is and what the word good means.
Vamos a ver qué significa la palabra bueno.
Okay, good, and in the other translations it says in good.
Bueno, en la Biblia completa judía, más en las otras traducciones, dice en bueno.
It is G18.
Es la palabra G18.
It means a good constitution or nature.
Significa una buena constitución o naturaleza.
Number 2, good, pleasant, agreeable.
Número 2, bueno, placentero o agradable.
Number 3, excellent, distinguished.
Número 3, excelente o distinguido.
Number 4, upright and honorable.
Número 4, justo o honorable.
Okay, so how would I know what is agreeable to God?
Ahora, ¿cómo sabría yo que es
Number 2, agreeable.
agradable a Jehová?
How would I know what is agreeable to him?
¿Cómo sabría yo que es agradable a Jehová?
Remember trusting
Recuerden confiar
in divine things.
en las cosas divinas.
What are the divine things?
¿Cuáles son las cosas divinas?
Well, that would be the Torah.
Esto sería la Torá.
So now he's confirming this by verse 10.
Ahora él está confirmando esto de acuerdo al versículo 10.
Jehovah says what is agreeable to him.
Jehová dijo qué es lo que es agradable para él.
Eat this, don't eat that.
Come esto, no comas esto.
And it doesn't change.
Y esto no cambia.
Well, Peter saw the vision in Acts chapter 10.
Bueno, Pedro vio la visión en Hechos capítulo 10.
And the voice said to him, eat the food.
Y la voz le dijo, come la comida.
And Peter said, I'm not eating that junk food. I'm a vegetarian.
Y Pablo le dijo,
I only eat organic.
Y Pedro le dijo, yo no como eso, yo soy vegetariano, solo como orgánico.
I'm only going to eat food that's agreeable to you, Lord.
Él dijo, yo solo comeré comidas que son agradables a ti, Dios.
Okay, so what does Kepha do?
Entonces, ¿qué fue lo que Pedro hizo?
He listens to the voice and eats all the junk food.
Entonces le escuchó la voz y comió toda la porquería de comida.
And no, he doesn't do that
No, él no hizo eso.
because he knew that wouldn't be agreeable to God.
Porque él sabía que esto no iba a ser agradable a Jehová.
Let's look at verse number 10 again.
Vamos a ver el versículo 10 una vez más.
For we are of God's making, created in union with the Messiah Yeshua for a life of good actions already prepared by Jehovah for us to do. So here, good actions.
Entonces aquí, buenas acciones.
Let's look at definition number 3.
Vamos a ver la definición número 3.
Excellent, distinguished.
Excelente y distinguido.
If I were to turn on the conference from last night,
Si yo hubiese, si yo prendo la conferencia de anoche
and I didn't have any sound,
y yo no tenía yo no tuviera ningún sonido,
how would I distinguish that woman was not a pagan
¿cómo hubiera yo distinguido que esta mujer no era pagana?
from the Isaacs? How would I distinguish that she wasn't a pagan?
¿Cómo hubiera yo distinguido de que esta mujer no era pagana?
She had eye makeup like Tammy Faye Baker.
Ella tenía un maquillaje estilo Tammy Faye Baker.
She had big hoop earrings like any rap artist.
Ella tenía aretes, argollas grandes.
She had red lipstick like Taylor Swift or whatever her name is.
Ella tenía pintalabios rojo bien acentuado como Taylor Swift o cualquiera de esas otras celebridades.
She had fake blonde hair because her roots were dyed black.
Ella tenía cabello rubio pero falso porque la raíz de su cabello negro se le veían.
So was she distinguished for God?
¿Será que ella es distinguida para Dios?
Is God happy with that daughter?
¿Será que Dios está contenta con esa hija?
Looking like she's a $10 whore?
Pareciendo como si fuera una prostituta de $10.
But I'm going to sing about Jesus.
Oh, yo voy a cantar sobre Jesús.
Now they sung the Star Spangled Banner and that was excellent.
Ellos cantaron la canción
3-part harmony, a cappella. Oh, it was good. These people are talented.
Where is banner? La canción de la bandera.
And you call yourself a green card holder. All right. So what would be distinguished in God?
¿Qué es lo que es distinguido en Dios?
How does God distinguish his men from the other men of the world?
¿Cómo es que Dios distingue al hombre al hombre mesiánico o que camina en su palabra comparándolo con el hombre del mundo?
And the judíos.
Y los judíos.
How does he make us look different?
¿Cómo es que él nos hace ver diferente?
Vayikra 19:27 says, I can't cut this.
Levíticos capítulo 19:10 dice que no puedo cortar esto, mi barba.
Okay? So if your face looks like a woman's face,
Si tu rostro parece el rostro de una mujer,
meaning that you don't have any hair on your face like David Chernoff,
como este hombre David Chernoff que no tiene no tiene barba,
then you're not distinguished for God.
entonces tú no eres distinguido para Dios.
You're not upright or honorable, number 4.
Tú no eres justo o honorable,
Okay.
la número 4.
What are our good actions?
¿Cuáles son las buenas acciones?
God tells you what he wants men to look like,
Jehová te dice cómo Él quiere que un hombre se vea.
what he wants men to wear.
¿Qué es lo que Él quiere que un hombre se ponga o se
And
vista?
Oscar says hello to everybody. I talked to Oscar for an hour today.
Yo hablé con Oscar hoy por una hora y él le manda saludos a
He's
todos.
stuck in Guatemala.
Él está estancado en Guatemala.
So he went to a Messianic congregation there,
Él fue a una congregación mesiánica allá.
and they put their seats in their belt loops.
Y ellos ponen sus tzitzis en las orejas de los pantalones.
Is that where God said to put them?
¿Será que ahí fue donde Dios dijo que te pongas los tzitzis?
How's a loop a corner?
¿Cómo es que estos orejas o estas donde se aguantan el cinturón, cómo se ve esto como una esquina?
Because it says the 4 corners in the scripture we read last Shabbat.
Porque en la escritura que leímos en el Shabbat o el sábado dice en las 4 esquinas.
Let's look at verse number 10.
Vamos a leer el versículo 10.
You see what he's saying to this congregation?
¿Tú ves lo que él está diciendo a esta congregación?
For we are God's making, created in union with the Messiah Yeshua for a life of good actions, already prepared by Yehovah for us to do. What do you mean, already prepared for us?
¿A qué te refieres de que ya está preparado para nosotros?
What do you mean prepared for us?
¿A qué te refieres que ya está preparado para
Oh
nosotros?
yeah, he gave us the instruction manual like 1,500 years before Messiah came.
Oh, ¿verdad? Que Él nos dio el manual de instrucción como 1500 años antes de que viniera el Mesías.
It was already prepared,
Ya estaba preparado,
meaning the Torah,
refiriéndose a la Torá,
so you could know what good actions are,
para que así tú pudieras saber qué son buenas acciones,
what honorable actions are.
para que así pudieras entender qué son acciones honorables.
Any questions or comments?
¿Alguna pregunta o comentario?
You guys all know this, so you don't have nothing to say about this incredible letter now that you're understanding it?
I think Rabbi is just explaining, right? Sometimes Rabbi doesn't leave room for questions.
I know,
Because the
but
Rabbi
like
is explaining
blown away,
it-
like this is amazing.
Because, I mean, it's loud and clear that Yeshua was the gift, and still people, because of the grace.
And you knew that when you were a youth pastor?
I read it, I kind of knew it because that's why I fought with them, but I just didn't do what the Bible told me to do. So I still did what was wrong at the end of the day. Because I read it there, and this is why I left the Christian church. I was like, you guys are a bunch of, because like there is something I said, why do we do Sunday? Because here in the Torah, in the Old Testament, because at the moment I didn't know the word Torah, it was like in the Old Testament it says Saturday, and I was against a lot of stuff, but again, I still did not do what was right because I still didn't do what Torah said. I didn't keep kosher. I did not do Shabbat. I did not wear my tzitzis. I didn't let my beard grow. I was still fornicating and doing whatever I wanted in the world. So because of His grace, because I should have been dead a long time. Time comes to be judged.
Amen. What about you there, old Pastor Marty? I'm coming to you twice tonight. Mary's like, get him out of the bathroom.
You wake me up again.
Oh, okay, go back to sleep.
So, this is good, Rabbi. I like verse 11. But I was thinking, God always showed grace through Israel since the beginning of the world.
Still today.
You know, so how that works with Israel? Because Israel know that, I mean, even today, you know, any Jew, when he reads the New Testament, they connect it right away. I mean, they go like, they make the click, boom, you know. Even today, some of the rabbis that they don't, there's a lot of rabbis, first of all, that they believe in Yeshua, even the Orthodox, but they keep it hidden. But even the ones that they don't know, or they don't want to accept him as the Messiah, once they read the New Testament, they connect it. But my question is, if Russia is talking about grace here to the Gentiles, because of the behavior the Gentile, you know, the goys, the act, the worship of the Diana and all the, you know, idolatry, it's understandable. I understand that, but in the context of Israel, they know that God always show mercy, and God showed them grace. How do they put things together? Because they know about the law. They know about, you know, about the grace of God. So how do they, you know, what is the connection right here? That I kind of don't get. You know, even though Yeshua is the grace of God, but I want to try to get into the mind of a Jewish guy, a Jewish person. You understand what I'm saying? No, because God's been showing grace to Israel all the time through His miracles. You know, saving Israel from war and different things. They disobey, and God, you know, always called them back and accept them back. Now that we have Yeshua, how does that work in the mind of a Jewish person? Because they keep in the law. They know what the law is. The Gentiles, we're learning the law right now. We are learning about the Torah. But the Jewish person, they already have the law engrafted in their bones. You know, I'm trying to understand that. Maybe you don't understand. It's hard to understand a Mexican, man.
No. They don't have the law. They have the Talmud.
No, ellos no tienen la ley, ellos tienen el Talmud.
Which is based on the law.
Que esto es basado en la ley.
They'll be able to quote the rabbis, but they won't be able to quote God.
Ellos van a poder citar las escrituras de los rabínicas, mas no las de Dios o Jehová.
They don't understand. If you ask a Jew,
si tú le preguntas a un judío,
if Messiah were to come, what would he do?
Si el Mesías vendría, ¿qué haría él?
They wouldn't be able to give you a real answer.
Ellos no podrían darte una respuesta real.
And they're doing the same thing today that they've done for thousands of years.
Y ellos están haciendo lo mismo hoy en día que lo mismo que estuvieron haciendo por hace miles de años.
In Israel, you have Sabras born there in Tel Aviv.
Tú en Israel tienes los Sabras, son aquellos que nacen en Israel.
Whose only language is Hebrew.
Que su único idioma es el hebreo.
They can read the scriptures in Hebrew.
Ellos pueden leer las escrituras en hebreo.
And they're still gay.
Y ellos aún siguen siendo homosexuales.
Because they're doing the same thing that Israel has done for thousands of years.
Porque ellos aún siguen haciendo lo mismo que Israel ha hecho por miles de años.
We try the patience of the Father.
Nosotros tentamos la paciencia de el Padre.
But now at the end of time,
pero ahora en los días finales,
Yeshua says, Dad is so angry with the entire world.
Yeshua dice, mi padre está tan enfadado o molesto con todo el mundo.
That had the time not been cut short.
Que si no fuese por causa de que el tiempo fuese acortado.
That nobody would survive.
entonces nadie viviría.
And the world is in a very bad state because we're not doing our job.
Y el mundo está en un estado muy crítico, muy mal, porque nosotros no estamos haciendo nuestro trabajo.
Because God said, if you follow me,
Porque Dios dice, si tú me sigues a mí,
I would make you the head and not the tail.
yo te haré la cabeza y no cola.
You would have shalom.
Tú tendrías paz.
If you watch the news this week, there is no shalom going on in our nation.
Si tú hubieras visto las noticias de esta semana, no hay paz más en nuestra nación.
Watch this coming Saturday to see if anything real bad starts.
Veamos este sábado que viene de esta semana y veamos si algo grande no sucede.
President Trump is going to have a big America birthday celebration in Washington, D.C.
Y el presidente Trump va a tener una celebración grande, en gran magnitud, de el cumplimiento de año de este país.
But people from Antifa
Mas las personas del Antifa
is saying that they're going to have acid attacks at the gathering.
y ellos dicen que van a hacer ataques de ácido, van a arrojar ácido a las personas en ese momento que ellos van a congregar juntos ahí.
So once again, it's because the body of Messiah is not doing their job.
Y una vez más, esto es porque el cuerpo del Mesías no está haciendo su trabajo.
If we do our job, all this stops.
Si nosotros hacemos nuestro trabajo, todo esto para.
But the body of Messiah is no different looking than the world.
Mas el cuerpo del Mesías no se ve diferente a como se ve el mundo.
So tying this together with the Ephesians letter,
Entonces esto anexándolo a la carta de los Efesios,
Shaul is telling them, you've left that life.
Pablo le está diciendo ahí, ustedes dejaron ese modo de vida.
You're trusting in the divine things,
Ustedes están confiando en las cosas divinas.
the gift of Yeshua
El regalo de Yeshua,
for salvation so that you can have a personal relationship.
el regalo de la salvación para que así tú puedas tener una relación personal.
Now you got to keep up with your good actions.
Mas ahora tú tienes que seguir haciendo tus buenas acciones.
But we got pastors and rabbis saying stupid stuff.
Ahí ahora tenemos rabinos y pastores diciendo cosas estúpidas.
So now we sit at the brink of disaster.
Ahora estamos al borde del desastre.
Once one person dies,
Una vez que una persona muera,
that's when America dies.
ese es en el momento que los Estados Unidos o América muere.
And really we're at the point of no return.
Y en realidad nosotros estamos en el punto de no retornar.
Because the body of Messiah doesn't know how to lift itself up.
Porque el cuerpo del Mesías no sabe cómo levantarse a sí mismo.
So here we sit,
Entonces aquí nos sentamos,
people want to pray,
las personas quieren orar
and the 10 Commandments are getting taken down.
y los 10 mandamientos se van a remover de la estatua donde están.
A man in upper New York State
Un hombre en Nueva York
gets arrested for shooting two people that were in his house that were trying to rob him.
por dos personas, fue arrestado porque dos ladrones entraron a su casa e intentaron robarle y él les disparó y los mató.
Things are so bad in the church
Las cosas están tan malas en las iglesias
that Kentucky passed a law that churches can have their own police departments.
que en Kentucky, en la ciudad de Kentucky, dice que gracias. En el estado de Kentucky dicen que las iglesias ahora pueden tener sus propios departamentos de policías.
My question is, how did we arrive here?
Mi pregunta es, ¿cómo es que nosotros llegamos hasta este punto?
How did we arrive?
¿Cómo es que llegamos a este punto?
Because we're testing God's patience like Israel has always tested them.
Porque estamos probando, tentando la paciencia de Jehová, como Israel siempre ha hecho todo este tiempo.
But this time, 2/3 of us die.
Pero esta vez 2/3 de nosotros morirá.
Zechariah 13, verse 9.
Zacarías capítulo 13, versículo 9.
That's why we study this letter.
Por esto es que estamos estudiando esta carta.
These people left worshiping pagan gods.
Estas personas dejaron de adorar a dioses paganos.
But you know what I discovered at the conference that I was talking to my wife about this morning?
¿Sabe qué descubrí yo en la conferencia y estaba compartiendo, hablando con mi esposa esta mañana sobre esto?
Most Jews want to run away from Torah.
La mayoría de los judíos quieren salir corriendo y apartarse de la Torá.
They want to be like the pagan Christians.
Ellos quieren ser como los cristianos paganos.
They don't want to follow any laws.
Ellos no quieren seguir ningún tipo de ley.
Why is God really that bad?
¿Por qué? ¿Será que Dios es tan malo? En realidad
Is
es
the
tan
Father
malo.
in heaven that repugnant to you, that disgusting?
¿Será que el Padre en el cielo es tan repugnante o asqueroso hacia ti?
And you want to live in His house for eternity?
¿Y tú quieres vivir en su casa por la eternidad?
Why do you find Him so repugnant?
¿Por qué,
We'll end.
por qué lo encuentran a él tan repugnante?
Well, we're going to pause there because we're about to start section number 5.
Vamos a pausar aquí porque estamos a punto de comenzar la sección número 5.
Any other questions or comments?
¿Alguna otra pregunta o comentarios?
Pretty powerful stuff, everybody.
Esto es una enseñanza bien fuerte y bien poderosa.
Let's close in some prayer.
Vamos a cerrar en oración.
Thank you, Lord, for your blessings of this letter. Thank you, Lord, for the encouragement that we now slow down and see how powerful this letter is. As we sit at the brink of disaster and something might happen this 4th of July, that the vice president was recalled to Washington, or something might happen this weekend, we pray that you hear the cry from this place. And you said that if there were 10, that you would not destroy the cities. I pray for those at the conference that they would really come to know you. That we would stop finding your word repugnant, your laws repugnant, but we would cherish them and honor everything that you, the gift Yeshua, did for us. In your name, Yeshua. Amen. Shalom, Havarim. Shalom. This is Messianic Rabbi Andrew Dinnerman. I would personally like to thank you for tuning in to the Remnant's Call each and every week. You can listen to the full message on our website, bethgoyim.org. If you have drawn closer to the King of Kings, learned more about Him today, we are blessed. If you are blessed by these messages, please consider a donation to our ministry. You can go to our website, bethgoyim.org. That's BETHGOYIM.org. And click on the donate button. You do not have to have a PayPal account to donate. All you need is a debit card. Once again, thank you very much for listening to The Remnant's Call.
If you have not taken your first steps to be born again, just ask God's help. Remember, it's His loving grace that has come to find you. No one is worthy or able to reach God, but God can reach us, and He's reaching out to you now. Just open your heart and let Him in. His arms are open, and the blessing of salvation and eternal life are waiting for you. Don't let it wait any longer.
Ya Adonai, panavoleka, vikuneka, Yisa Adonai, panavoleka, vayasem lecha, shalom. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord lift His face to shine upon you. May the Lord be gracious unto you and give you His shalom. Shalom. My name is Messianic Rabbi Andrew Dinnerman, and I invite you to come to visit our congregation. If you are in the tri-state area, come out and visit with us on Shabbat. We are a congregation of Jews and Gentiles, living as one in the Messiah Yeshua. Bgmc is a place of true worship. The focus never wanders from the Hebraic roots of our faith. Beth Goyim is rooted in the Word of God from Bereshit through to the book of Revelation. Messiah's strong words against man-made tradition are carefully recorded in Matthew 7. That is the reason we only follow the straight-up instructions found in Scripture, truly the way, the truth, and the life. If you're looking for a deeper walk with Adonai, come out for our Tuesday evening Bible study called Messianic Torah Time. Come, spend the day with us on any Shabbat. We start at 11 a.m. with the sound of the ancient Hebrew shofar. Next, we offer our King praise and worship in English, Hebrew, and Spanish. After worship, we review the headlines in the previous week's news from around the globe, especially news from the Holy Land, Israel. We don't just list the news headlines as current events, but we comb through the scriptures, searching for clues to understand what they mean and then to help pinpoint prophetically our current position on Adonai's clock. After digesting all that modern information, we leave the world behind as we journey with our Adonai deep into his eternal word, not with just 1 or 2 scriptures, but usually 7 or more scriptures. The spiritual nourishment and the richness of his kingdom become accessible to the ones who share this special time and seek them out. The day does not end there. Because Shabbat is so special to him, there is always so much more that our King desires to share. So instead of separating and leaving, we stay together as a family for potluck lunch and an afternoon study of our King's Word. We close the Shabbat together with the reading of the new week's parashah. That's the Torah portion. Even after those blessings, many of us just can't get enough. So the members bring prepared homemade foods to share while we all enjoy an uplifting movie together. If all that information is not quite enough, you can check out our website where you will find over 200 video teachings and biblical holy day studies. Under Messianic Torah Time, the Hebrew Roots button, you'll discover free studies on many, many different topics, including PowerPoint slide presentations. If Beth Goyim sounds like a place you'd love to visit, but you live outside the tri-state area, there is still a way to connect with us. We stream live on the internet on Tuesday, Thursday, and Shabbat. The website is www.bethgoyim.org. That's BETHGOYIM.org. Our phone number is 973-338-7800 or 978-2-YESHUA. That's 978, the number 2, Yeshua. Shalom.